And we had our first map check.
Oh, we had a map check. Wait.
Yep, and the moon pearl is...
3 crystals in the light world. Yeah, we've got 3
I
crystals in the light world with
it looked
6
like...
being in...
And it looks like we'll have to redo our introduction. So if you're
Hi,
sitting
everybody!
up and doing that again...
Right, so, ladies and gentlemen, we are now live with Randomizer Action, the secondary tournament coming to you from both A and C group, featuring Fouton and ozipone and S1nhe and bytesizedBK.
And speaking of BK, he just found the lamp and the boomerang, so he's a lot more fortunate than the race I was watching just before this one. I never actually found the lamp at all.
Nice.
But they're actually taking quite the floating route so far through this early section of exploration.
Right. Indeed, well, we've
making
already
this
seen it.
very fun to keep track of, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, so we've seen at least one Houlihan room so far. From I think bytesizedBK did that earlier.
Yeah, I do believe so. I believe the others just found a lot of rupees lying around looking at the rupee cans.
Hey, we've got a sword.
BK found a sword and the Quake medallion.
Oh goodness, so not even like 4 minutes in, we've got our first sword already. So the runners are going to be very happy to see that. Because it's not fun getting a seed where you have, 40 minutes without a sword.
To quickly answer a question in chat, yes, all 4 runners are on the same seed, so they are not all in the same race. The top 2 runners are racing against each other, and the bottom 2 runners are racing against each other.
That is correct. I believe they give them both the same seed for our sanity, so we'd like to thank the administrators for doing that.
A couple of the early court races in the main tournament were, in fact, it's actually Crystal 6 so for Eastern Palace. But a couple of the early races on the main tournament were courts that weren't all on the same seed, and it was a nightmare to keep track of 4. Well, the trackers, the commentators, and the viewers, so we moved on to this format where all 4 runners are in fact on the same seed. Oh,
the little bug there dropping out, what is it, 8 bomb drops?
Yeah, those were in fact 8 bomb drops, which is very good for our runners, because they'll always know where to find a good bomb refill now.
Indeed. Lumberjack Cave having all of a piece of heart, so far Aghanim not required, but you never know.
Yeah, there's still, let's see, if I look at all the runners...
Oh, we have a moon pearl!
Total, oh yeah, we do have the moon pearl. It was actually found in the Thieves' Hut in the Lost Woods, I believe.
Which Bite Size is going to be going to very shortly here.
Yeah, interestingly, Bite Size decided to take a very different route than most people did. He checked some of the more the locations usually people leave until later.
Sick Kid having the book, so that's going to open up Desert Palace if anyone actually wants to go in there without boots or a fire source.
Yeah, but it could be very important, because if you find such an early book, it's often a very good sign that you want to do something with that early book. Indeed,
but it's okay, because the uncle had the most legendary weapon in the entire game, the bug net, so we're perfectly fine now.
Yeah, we are perfectly fine, though that is a sign that we might have to do Aghanim.
Right. Well, it always worries me when I get early lamp that, hey, they may want me to go into Aghanim, but we'll see.
Yeah, in fact, if we look at BK's stream, he's either just another sword upgrade or the cape off from being able to actually complete Aghanim. So he's almost certainly hoping he's going to find a hammer before that.
Yeah, really. So we've got a 50 rubies in the race game. S1nhe was thinking about doing it and then changed his mind.
Yeah, well, he's in a fairly good spot for money already, so I can understand just skipping out on that. I assume you'll get your Zora money elsewhere.
Everyone pretty wealthy so far. We may see some Zora checks sooner or later. My guess is someone's going to fake Flipper after checking the dam down there.
Yep.
Oh, I guess we never introduced ourselves after all that. My name is OPT Lawyer. This here is Dude, and we're here to hopefully keep track of this as best we can.
Yeah, it's going to be rather rough because it always is with a four-way race. So it also is significantly more exciting because it doesn't matter where you look, there's probably always somebody going to do something new, basically.
Now, if you're in a four-way, obviously you're thinking to yourself, you know, I'm only got one opponent, but is there some part of you that just wants to be the other three runners entirely just for that little extra pride?
Well, I haven't personally raced in a four-way yet, but I'm pretty certain I would actually want to be the overall winner of all four races. As for who will win this one, I actually haven't the faintest idea. Fouton did shave to me something before the race that makes me want him to win because, much like myself, he actually plays this game with a keyboard, not with a controller. So that makes me want to win him just to support a fellow keyboard user.
Oh wow!
And there's the hammer in the mini golem cave.
Nice. And there's another sword.
Oh my! I hope ozipone finds the glove that BK and Fouton found before deciding to do Aghanim at this point.
So once he finds out, we're gonna have Dark World access and access to the pyramid, which means Aghanim not required in this seed. That'll make the runners feel happy.
Yeah.
Fouton's got the Dark World access right now.
Yeah, and with the hammer, there's actually no way anymore that Aghanim can be required for the seed at all. Which is good news for our runners, and bad news for us.
It's alright.
Fouton is making very clever use of the bush crab to quickly restock his bomb supply. Anyway, I mentioned this before, but well, we were still muted, I believe. But these two races are actually very important for the standings of both these groups. If Fouton loses this race for the ozipone, he will actually enter a three-way tiebreaker within his group, being one of three people who would go 2-2. So if he wins, him and ozipone are actually guaranteed to move on to the bracket stages. On the other stream, on the other hand, BK and S1nhe, if S1nhe wins, he'll be 4-0 and guaranteed to move on. But if BK wins, there might be a tiebreaker situation depending on how other things go. That's going to be exciting.
Very, very exciting outcome possibilities here for both groups. We've got Fouton going into the Dark World. My guess is he's going to hit a hype cave real quick here.
Yeah, and let's see if Hype Cave is in fact actually hype this time around instead of being.
He's also only got one heart left, so he's dodging those bombs being dropped by that.
Yeah, and he also needs to be careful. He got that guy. Good.
Wandering around the Dark World with green mail and all of like 5 hearts is very.
It's very brave, but it's doable. But just a scenario upgrade.
Hey, that's another sword. That's our third sword of the seed already.
The shuffle. That's actually, I'll take it. Sword upgrade is always super good to see. So this was a fairly hyped cave.
So we've seen 3 of them. So we can theoretically get Tempered Sword at some point in the near future.
Yep, that is correct.
bytesizedBK picking up his second sword and his hammer. Meanwhile, I believe, Ozzy going into fake flipper mode. Looks like he's gonna go check Zora and probably do the walk-on water glitch in the fairy cave if he ever gets. Okay.
Yeah, it's always really annoying to actually get into that whirlpool, I find.
Yes.
Because normally if you have flippers, you can at least set yourself up in the water, but without flippers, you're just stuck at the mercy of the rather annoying water physics Link to the Past has.
Yeah, the swimming controls, not the greatest in the world, but here we go. We're going to see the walk-on water glitch here and fairy cave having just some
money cave, which is convenient for Zora, though ozipone already had the money to check Zora regardless.
So while you're in the walk-on water glitch, if I understand it correctly, you actually walk at swimming speed while you're in the deep water. You can see Ozzy doing that right now.
Yeah. I believe the way it works is basically that deep water just counts as normal ground, while shallow water still counts as normal shallow water and slows you down a little.
As I recently found out, you have to not step on those on the land patches, or you will jump out of the water.
Yep, and then you go back to just being a regular, boring, non-water walking Link.
Unfortunately for our for Ozzy, he found only 20 rubies for sale. So
Yeah, Zora taught him a life lesson. Don't trust a man who says he'll give you all kinds of goods for 500 rupees.
absolutely. Meanwhile, Fouton going up to check Mr. Catfish.
Yeah, while S1nhe is making the way down to Zelda's cell and checking the chest in there. The hammer is quite good at killing this guard too, by the way. Just 2 hits necessary, and there you go. And there's the flute. That's a good find.
Yay, the flute!
That is a very good find over in Zelda's cell.
Yeah, considering how early they had access to that,
Yeah, it's a very interesting design.
I do not. Oh, we have had a
Actually,
map check. We have.
Yeah, it is mostly a convenience item, however, at this point with the items they've found so far.
I missed it, but we had a Dark World map check, and Turtle Rock, Ice Palace, and Palace of Darkness are our pendant dungeons.
Oh my. If they're lucky, they'll get to skip Turtle Rock, but on the other hand, if it's Pendant Turtle Rock, people have been finding a lot of necessary progression items there. Especially the boot seems to crop up there surprisingly often.
I find the bow up there quite a lot for reasons I still don't quite understand. So, S1nhe is already freeing the swag duck from his prison and is going to...
Zora check, dark room from S1nhe, and I believe Fouton is making his way to the Underdark World entrance in Kakariko Village. Wouldn't at all surprise me to see him go north into Skullwoods and then clear Thieves Town afterwards. At least that seems to be the common play these days. He just goes straight for Thieves Town because that's a dungeon you can actually fully complete, unlike Skullwoods.
Right, and especially with the hammer. But we're gonna go get to see what the old man's got now. A nice dark room. Of course, we know the lamp is very accessible, so you didn't actually have to do it dark, so not quite a sequence break.
BK is now checking Hype Cave as well, and will soon also be on Tempered Sword, much like Fouton is.
On checking Skull Woods, which seems to be a really good thing to do on this logic, is check Skull Woods.
This is the definite V26 play, going into Skull Woods at your first opportunity. And he finds a key.
That's the blue cane.
Not the cane anyone's hoping for, but a very, very convenient cane to have, especially in the situation of you doing Dark World dungeons with 5 hearts.
Exactly. Hey,
And
that's a fire rod.
Yeah, that is the fire rod. That is a good find, and it means that if he really wanted to, he could complete Skullwoods right now, though he has both items here, so it might be for the best if he leaves a little later, but nope,
Looks like
he's
he's
soldiering
going
on.
for it. He says, I don't care if I only have 4 hearts. I'm gonna go fight the boss right now.
That's a very brave play, but he does have the Tempered Sword at the very least, so much will die just as quick as he will.
Absolutely. Well, Ozzy here gonna go rescue his swag duck.
Yep. Meanwhile, S1nhe now also has the glove and lamp and the blue boomerang. The blue boomerang, of course, being the most important item of those 3.
Absolutely, 100%. Best weapon in the game. So, yeah, no, Fouton's really doing this.
Yeah, Fouton is going straight for Mochila. This is the only thing he has left to do here in Skullwood, so I imagine his thought is just, if I'm done with this, I'm absolutely done with this area of the world.
Absolutely. I mean, I completely understand it. I know I would be
I'm
thinking very hard about not doing that.
He is doing the smart play and using his lamp to like most of his dodges, so he has more magic and full martial there. Because he could either he has plenty of options for fighting martial actually. The easy, obvious option is you continue to use his fire rod, but he could also opt to go with using the kind of burner for a bit of extra safety.
Indeed.
We'll see what he does.
Alright, Fouton's dropping into the Mothula fight. Meanwhile, bytesizedBK gonna go check out Desert Palace.
Well, they did find that early book, so must have been preying on his mind.
It might not be bootlocked, so. Meanwhile,
he does have.
Wow, Fouton only taking one hit in that entire fight.
That was one hell of a modular fight. It was very impressive.
Well done indeed. Picking up the Skullwoods Crystal, and as you said, doesn't need to come back here ever again. Well done.
Yep, you can just get straight down from the. You can just head straight into the Village of Outcasts from here, or make a quick check to the east to see what the bumper cave holds if he's up for it.
That is also our first crystal of the entire match. Meanwhile, bytesizedBK finding the big key. He can go defeat the boss here. So I probably would at least take out Lemolis right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Bombo's on the lamp.
Bombos. That might come into play.
Indeed.
Like, this suit might be bootlocked still if that medallion is required from Misery Maya. Or for Total Rock, of course, assuming Total Rock actually holds a progression item, but that would be very trolly. Or, of course, oh no, wait, it can't be required for Ice Palace at least for them, because the Fire Rod is in fact available in Skullwoods.
Mr. Stumpy has eyes, just a little quad heart there, nothing's too much.
Yeah, it's fine, perfectly fine.
Yeah, we have 3 runners on Temper Sword and 1 runner on Fighter Sword.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
But he does have the flute, which Fouton does not have yet, and Misery Mire is required, so we'll see.
So interestingly, it appears he doesn't have the lamp yet, so while he is in Desert Palace, he will not be in a spot where he can actually complete it.
Exactly. Meanwhile, down in Digging Game, S1nhe pulling up only 300 rubies.
Yep. Not what you're looking for here.
Not anymore.
Yeah, because they've already spent most of the major money requiring things at this point. Of course, it's always convenient to be able to buy more potions, especially with the flutes, but
Oh, absolutely.
again, money isn't really what you're looking for. And Fouton is making our first play on Thieves Town. The dungeon he can fully complete and has to complete for a crystal anyway.
Indeed, if he does that, that'll be 2. Meanwhile, bytesizedBK going through the Lemolis fight here.
Yeah, he's opting to use a combination of his Ice Rod and the Tempered Sword. Both of which, and Tempered Sword spins, much like the Ice Rod hits, will actually take out Lemolis in 2 hits.
Indeed, it's just slightly harder to aim, at least in my opinion.
While we're in a quiet time, I'd like to make a quick shout out to all our runners for displaying their skills for us, and I'd recommend you give all of them a follow. There will shortly be some very convenient links for you in this very chat. Yeah, this will be an exciting blind fight to watch, but it should be very doable with the stuff he has, especially since he has the Cane of Burn as a backup option for safety.
Absolutely. That'll lag the fight a decent amount, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. I mean, he already took out Mothula, so...
Yeah, exactly. He took out Mothula, which I'd say is a harder fight than blind is.
I feel like he's going to be very, very okay with doing blind, yeah. Meanwhile, Ozzy gonna go check what's behind Sahasharilla.
Yep, and that's a good spot to check because there were a couple of very good items there, like the power glove and the lamp, and of course the boomerang. And that also gives him finally his Dark World access, which the other runners have been enjoying for a little while already.
Absolutely.
And yes, the blue cane does in fact damage blind, and since this is open mode, it can in fact be required to beat Cane with just the blue cane as your weapon.
Yeah, I've had one of those scenes. It was interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It makes the dungeon kind of a pain to navigate, but the fight itself isn't too bad.
So Ozzy's gonna make his way over towards the village of outcasts. I wonder if he's gonna go up directly into Skull Woods, or if he's gonna search the village a bit first before heading up that way.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting play either way, because, well, so far Fouton actually doesn't seem to have any interesting items in it, but it is required and finishable after all, while Skull Woods holds the fire rod that is needed to actually complete it. Looks like ozipone is going to make the Fouton play a lot. Looks like BK is going for the Skull Woods play, yeah. Wonder if, like, Fouton before him, BK will be brave enough to just go straight to Shiva. He is in a very slightly better position. Help and there's the boots over in blind, so that's also a very good find, and that suddenly makes Fouton very much worth it.
Absolutely. So, which, with this being a requirement, obviously that means, I mean, there's a mushroom while we're at it. But yeah, that means everyone's going to find the boots probably relatively quickly here. That's right, Fouton did find a half magic, so yeah, that's going to be much easier for him to... Of course, with the temperate sword already, yeah, he's probably going to have a very easy time in the blind fight.
Yeah, he should be. Of course, the temperate sword doesn't help that much beyond being very slightly longer than the fight the sword in the blind fight, since the blind just takes 9 hits regardless. But it looks like he's opting for bonus strats.
And he tells us he doesn't see us having a bright future.
No,
that makes me
but
sad.
blind doesn't see much of anything, so it doesn't really say anything, does it?
Pretty much. We've got dueling map checks going on here.
Also, it seems kind of cruel to beat up a blind man with a cane.
I agree entirely. Oh, we got a pedestal check, and looks like it was just couch cash.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. There's any kind of chance the pedestal was anything good. It was already rather unlikely with Tesseract being one of the pendants, mind you, but still.
Absolutely, but you never know. But yeah,
everybody likes a good pedestal seed.
Everyone loves a good pedestal seed, absolutely. So, Fouton now having 2 crystals. Wonder what his plan is next. Where would you go next if you were him?
If I were in his boots, let me see now. Looking at his items, I'd finish up what he's doing right now, and then I'd check the various bonk locations. I'd check the bonk rocks in the overworld, and yeah, I'd imagine that something else would prop up at this point that would pay off. Otherwise, it's looking like he might want to make the Eastern Palace or Palace of Darkness dip right now.
bytesizedBK making his way towards Mothula.
Yep. Zelda making the same brave play that BK made before him, and he's also making wise use to preserve his magic with the lamp. Again, that's a play I very much agree with.
Absolutely.
ozipone is making their way through Fouton, and it's looking like S1nhe is also just picks up the fire rod. There goes BK. Let's see how smoothly this particular modular fight will be in this one.
It's been there, but he's got Mothula away from those spikes, which is
Ooh, this is close. Watch out.
No!
Oh, no!
Did he have a fairy in a bottle? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. No, that's really unfortunate. It just goes to show how impressive the fights before with Modula was, because, as I said earlier, Modula dies about as quick to the Tempered Sword as you will die to Modula in this particular situation.
But he's gonna be a trooper and jump right back into it, give it another shot.
Fight. That's the spirit.
Indeed. Luckily, he found a full magic refill right as he entered back in here, so he's got full magic again. Gonna do what he can to save as much as it possible by using a lamp.
Yeah, and again, that's a very good decision, because not having to get that's some unfortunate damage taken here.
Yeah, he's going in with 3 hearts here.
But he made the switch to the Cane of Burner, so I assume he's going to rely on a combination of slashes and just being invulnerable here. Meanwhile, ozipone is about to pick up the boots.
Fouton going into Desert Palace himself. With boots, he'll be able to pick up the Bombos medallions, and we're going to hopefully find out if that's going to be required for our runners or not.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of... Oh, never mind, he never finished off Desert Palace. Well, wait, this is Fouton's first visit to Desert Palace, in fact, so this is actually a really smart play to do right now. I'd forgotten that he hadn't even been there.
There we go, nice. bytesizedBK taking down Modula.
1 heart left, very clutch. But he did it, and S1nhe almost at the same time appears to have also taken down Modula. And Fouton is our first runner with possibly required bombers.
Unfortunately, we can't check either of the medallion places yet, so...
Yep. Fouton is our first runner to take on blinds with just the fighter sword and without the safety net, but absolutely no trouble pulling off the fight. Didn't take any damage.
Hey, yeah, it was a perfect blind fight. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. Meanwhile, Fouton going through Desert Palace, gonna pick up... I don't recall if there's anything actually useful over here. I think this was a piece of heart.
Yeah,
hey, I was right.
Yep. No, but he can head straight to Plan Molars and get this very third crystal already, which is it's a very rapid pace actually, being only 30 minutes in and already on your way to your third crystal.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you know, I've never seen Garfield move this fast before, quite honestly.
No, you'd almost think he's going for the legendary plate plus S1nhe instead of Triforce at the end.
Absolutely. Oh, I missed whatever was on Bumper Cave. I figured Bytesize just checked it.
Yeah. I missed it as well, because I was very much distracted by all the other shiny stuff going on here.
Bytesize jumping into Sea House. I don't recall there being much in here. Let's see. Nope, just another piece of heart.
No, him and S1nhe actually appear to be following in each other's footsteps right now. Looks like they're splitting back up again, because BK is now going to go into Thieves' Town to pick up the crystal there, and of course his boots.
Which I'm sure he'll be happy. It's always a good day when you can find boots rather quickly in a seed.
Yeah. It's very convenient, because it's very often, and in fact, the other race I was watching before this had one of the runners finish without the boots. And nobody wants to finish without the boots.
Nobody wants to finish without the boots. I've definitely seen at least 1, if not 2 races in this entire tournament that boots were required to get the big key off Ganon's tower. And the boots were then inside Ganon's tower.
Oh, yeah. That's a very beautiful clip, actually, of one of the races where the big key is on the torch and the boots were found on the other side of the stairs, basically.
Ozzy finally picking up a sword upgrade, so we've no longer got anyone on fighter swords. We've got all magic swords all over the place.
Yeah, Fouton in the meantime pulled off a very neat fire rod kill of Plan Molars. It wasn't paying quite perfect attention, but I think it might have been a single cycle.
Pretty close anyway, if it wasn't. Fouton having 3 crystals in 31 minutes.
Yeah, that's quite the pace he's setting here. And he's now going off to check Agnes Cave.
I think we've seen this. I don't recall there being anything.
No, I don't believe there was anything in there either. But it's very good that he remembers because oh wait, never mind. That was the ice rot in there. That is actually well, it might not be important in this particular seed, but it's nevertheless very handy to have because who knows? Maybe we'll have good old Trinex having the bow or something like that.
Exactly.
Again.
Yes. Meanwhile, Ozzy grabbing his tempered sword, so all runners now at the tempered sword level. Where do you think we're going to find gold sword?
I'm going with vanilla butter for this one.
Oh, gotcha. Pyramid Fairy, nice.
Yeah.
Let's see, with Swamp and Eastern Palace being our Pyramid Fairy, I'm curious if they'd actually end up going there, but honestly.
No, it's looking, especially with the item layout so far, like the big things that are missing on the bow with the hook shots and the flippers.
And the mirror. The mirror will give them, well, the mirror and the hook shot will give them access, or give them the ability to beat Swamp Palace.
Yeah, so if they find the... Yeah, it depends really on if they find the Cane of Samaria before they find any of the items for Eastern or Swamp Palace. So if they find the Cane of Samaria first, there's basically going to be no reason left to check the Pyramid Fairy.
Is he going to turn in his mushroom? See what the witch is selling today. Fake flipper glitch from Fouton, pulled off real nicely there.
Yeah, pulled off absolutely perfectly. I do not believe he's actually checked any of these areas yet, so... He's just been, like, he was the first to dive into the Dark World and has just been having a pretty good time there. Currently they're tracing each other's footsteps a bit, which is awkward.
Right.
I wonder where our next progression item will be found, in fact.
Well, let's see.
Looking at
where could Fouton go after this? He's probably going to go hit up Zora, so after that...
Like, it's looking very likely like the next progression item will be in either Eastern Palace or in the Palace of Darkness at this point, neither of which are pleasant places to check if you do not have to go.
Exactly.
So on the other hand, all the races I've been involved with from this side of things, so from either commentary or restreaming lately, have actually had the bow be in Eastern Palace. So I'm wondering if that pattern is going to hold and then we are once again going to be with a vanilla or somewhat vanilla bow. Because if so, that also opens up some other options, because if they find the bow, they can also fully complete the Palace of Darkness. Palace of Darkness is merely a pendant dungeon, though it is the green pendant, so it actually holds one more item than usual in addition to its normal 5 items.
BK taking blind down, getting his second, actually his third crystal, I'm sorry. I can count.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's got 3 crystals on there too, so 2 of the runners having 3 crystals in this so far.
Yeah, I believe at this point, BK and Fouton have checked very similar amount of locations. So we'll be seeing what the next play is.
Fouton, I think, accidentally running out of the walk-on water glitch, but...
That's okay, okay, good, he managed to recover. I was worried he was softlocked for a tiny little bit, but he managed to recover, thankfully. And blind goes down onto his stream.
Fouton going to find out the very unfortunate news that Zora not really having anything all that useful for us.
No.
Really just stole everyone's money.
Let's see, where does he start next? It's at his house. Is he going for Eastern and the Palace of Darkness like I predicted, or will he do something else entirely? He could just,
he's got to go check his game.
Wait. Oh, he hasn't been. He's going to go north and probably pick up his flute in the process. Flute by itself will not unlock anything for him now.
But it's really nice to have.
It is super nice to have, and it also opens up his Remire in the future.
S1nhe back on the stream here. He has picked up 2 crystals himself, taking care of Skullwoods and Thieves Town, so...
And he's checking the bonk rocks, and I believe it's the first runner to check here, and it's 20 rupees. Oh, well. just making Eastern Palace or Palace of Darkness more likely as the next progression plays. But he's going to go make the much more sensible play for his perspective anyway, of going into and beating Eastern Palace.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like if you've got any ability to finish a crystal dungeon, you might as well go do it as quickly as possible.
Yeah. While he's in the area, he'll pick up the Bomber's Medallion and the Ice Rod Outfit in this case, in addition to the crystal he needs. So that'll put him at pretty equal footing with the with BK, in fact.
Absolutely. So I wonder where BK is heading off to. Looks like is he going up to Death Mountain? Looks like it.
He might be going. Yep, he is definitely going up that mountain. That's interesting. It could very well hold the that mountain could very well hold an item you need to progress further through that mountain at this point.
I think we know that it does not, though.
No, I think he just realized he hasn't checked the bomb rocks yet, so he's probably going to check those first and then go back.
But I feel like we saw someone go up there without the lantern earlier, and wasn't really much of anything up there.
That's also really unfortunate then.
Or at least, let me rephrase that, in the 2 item places we can really look right now without having the mirror or the hook shot.
Yeah, it's a fairly lengthy check. Of course, in a way, checking the old man himself doesn't cost that much time because you can always save and quit back to him at that point. But going back up to going all the way up to Spectacle Rock does actually cost time, though. If with the boots and assuming BK knows how to do spin speed, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, that's a fun little glitch to pull off. I'm still getting the timing down.
Particularly here in that mountain, it saves a lot of time.
Ozzy going through to the Mothula fight now. He's got a few more hearts than the other runners that have been there, but not many. So we've had some very low health Mothula fights today, and
yep, and it's been they've all been pulling it off pretty well.
Bytesize activating the blue cane to not die to the falling cabbages.
That's very good thinking of him to actually use that, because it's very easy to forget about the infallibility items, I find.
There you go, there's the spin speed. Got bombs on top of Spectacle Rock, can't get up there, and that's 20
rupees inside of it, so that mountain is a bust, and I do believe that leaves...
Oh wait, he's gonna go Spike Cave!
Oh yeah, that is a very good point. They could actually check Spike Cave.
Yeah,
I quickly check if there's a refill here, but no luck there. But with the half magic and the boots, he should be okay with the Cane of Burner.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna find out. Oh yeah, he should be fine. Yeah, he's gonna make it no problem. Oh, runs into the lamp, but that's okay.
Yeah, let's see where, and it's 5 rupees. Oh,
man, come on, Spike Cave.
Yeah, I imagine Fouton and ozipone are both making, in fact, the exact same play right now.
Nice. Yeah, we might see everyone hit Spike Cave up here.
And BK is now going into Hyrule Castle to pick up his flute from the chest in Zelda cell.
So I wonder what Sydney's going to do after this, because I think, as I said, at least one runner has checked Death Mountain prior to this, so I guess it was him.
Yeah, must have been. And looks like Fouton is going to, in fact, make the play on Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, that or he's just going to go open it up, check Eastern Palace real quick, and then jump back.
Since he entered the Dark Portal and doesn't have the mirror, he's kind of
that's right, doesn't have the mirror, right.
Pot first now.
God, he doesn't have the mirror yet.
Yeah, in fact, none of them have had the mirror so far. It's been fairly elusive. But it's a pendant pot, and, well, pendant dungeons in V26. So who knows, maybe the mirror is hiding right here.
Well, that would be fun. Or the bow, you know, the game could just give us the bow and make it complete.
Yep, that's true. If it is the bow, it's going to have to be in one of these first 3 chests, however. The logic doesn't allow it to be placed any deeper, because it would be possible to key lock yourself out of ever getting the bow if it did.
Right, and the last thing we want to have is someone to get locked out of actually completing a scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go, up for, okay, well, we got a key.
Well, we've got a key to begin with, so he can actually go deeper into Palace of Darkness.
And sometimes when I don't have the bow, I don't want to see a key there.
No. Yeah, because then at least you know you don't have to check any further.
So S1nhe going over to check Aegis' cave.
Yep, well, ozipone is in fact checking Eastern Palace, so it'll be interesting to see between Fouton and ozipone who actually finds the next progression item first.
Yeah, it's got something has to be in here. I don't think we've got anywhere else to check. Well, there's the big key.
That's sort of fortunate and unfortunate at the same time for Fouton. It might cut his exploration a bit short, depending on what is in this very final chest he can reach here. And
Okay,
it's another key, so he can go back upstairs and check a bit deeper in.
But we know the bow can't be in here from this point, right?
Nope, that is correct. The bow or anything with locking the bow cannot be here. And there's the flippers over on ozipone's side, which officially opens up. Nothing he hasn't checked already, actually.
Exactly. So, unfortunately, we find the flippers, which is allegedly a progression item, and then we can't use it in any way.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate, and that's what happens when you fake flipper. But it does mean that if he finds the mirror, or the mids, Ice Palace or Swamp Palace are both officially open to him.
Absolutely. I'm gonna guess we find the mitts next.
Yep, and looks like S1nhe will also shortly be picking up the flippers. But
Fouton continuing to go through, continuing to find keys inside of Palace of
looks
Darkness.
like he'll be able to actually check all the chests up here, basically. Like, he might not be able to check the chest down here, assuming he goes left for the more lucrative location, and yeah, he does, because this location on the left is guaranteed to not have any keys in it. But in the meantime, I am having a feeling that ozipone will, in the next chest he opens, find the next actual progression item. Because I basically can't imagine there being anything else left in the seat, actually, that they can.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Fortunately, Palace of Darkness being a major bust. What do we got? It's the, okay, so it's the big key.
It's the big key. Okay, well, in that case, it's the chest after that he... Oh no, he saved and quit instead of checking it. That's unfortunate, though. I think ozipone might have left some other items that he hasn't checked yet. We of course have the bird's eye view here, and I've seen every runner do everything. And,
oh, bytesizedBK taking an unfortunate death to one of those dino birds.
Oh god, those birds are so bad.
Especially with green mail, they do so.
Yeah, they do so much damage. They're like the crabs of the dark world.
ozipone looks like he's going right back into. No.
That's interesting. You might have realized after saving and quitting that he should have checked the big chests, because I don't think it's quicker to do this than it is to just walk back normally.
No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he must have just realized he forgot to check that. Meanwhile, Fouton going in here. You're right, there has to be something in that chest.
Yep, and it's, runners are actually remarkably synced up now, because they're all going into Eastern Palace, it being pretty much the only option left to most of them. Interesting
how many decisions we've had all accumulating and everyone ending up here at the same time.
Yeah, in fact, we might be seeing the runners being synced up for a lot more of the run, depending on the next progression item found. If it's the mids, there is a lot more potential for them spreading apart again now.
Alright, we're gonna find out what's in the big chest, and it's the Titans mitts!
Oh my, that's good to have. That opens up... Let's see, that opens up Ice Palace and the Mire area right now.
Alright, so where do you go?
Oh, and King's Tomb. It also opens up King's Tomb, which I think S1nhe is going to check first.
Right.
Going by
so if you have the choice between Ice Palace and Misery and Mire, both are required. Which one do you do first?
In this particular situation, I would actually opt to go to the Mire area first and double check if I can actually open that place, and then I'd go to Ice Palace next, because I don't have the Cane of Samaria yet.
Right, that's exactly what I was thinking. So let's see what she does. And Ozzy also going directly into King's Tomb, so
Yeah, it's the easiest, quick place to check. It's like
Sydney gonna go grab some. He's grabbing some potions, I guess. Oh, and picking up the 20
that's. I don't blame him at all for quickly picking up a red potion because they're still in a very perilous situation, especially for the 2 dungeons they're probably going to be checking.
Exactly. At least
And
they
it's
have
like-
Tempered Sword for it, though.
Looks like S1nhe is going for Ice Palace first.
Not a bad play. There's 3 items in here. Unfortunately, it's also Ice Palace, which makes it somewhat annoying to get through, but
Well, ozipone opts to do the little bit of overworld exploration you can do with Titan Smiths by picking up the Smith and probably checking the Hammer Pack cave. You don't have to save and quit with the Smith to rescue him, but with the Flute, that's not a particularly onerous expedition.
that was a very nice addition that the devs of the Randomizer added into it. The fact that you keep the Smithy and the purple chest when you save and quit. Of course, it also made it so that they could be, either one of those could be holding the mirror, so
Yep.
it was both a fun little addition and one of those like, oh crap, I have to check something else now addition.
Yeah, and I thought quite a lot of people getting caught off guard by that particular change because it's not something you often you think.
Hey,
of.
silver arrows!
That certainly makes going out of his way to check here worth doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, so silver arrow, so no, I'm gonna guess all 4 runners are gonna grab that because, you know, the mitts leading them to do smithy and whatnot, but you never know.
Yeah, it might depend a bit. It also depends a little bit if the Smith check here and possibly even the purple check here is going to pay off with a progression item. It's almost certain guaranteed. But if
Oh,
not,
Ozzy got told on.
oh no, there's guards coming with a spear. Anytime you see green guards with a spear.
No. So Ozzy drops the Smith eye off home. Let's see what he's got. Meanwhile, it looks like City's gonna go ahead and do the Ice Palace bomb jump.
Yeah, it looks like BK is starting to pick up bombers. I wonder if he's doing that in preparation for checking the Maya area with the idea of, well, I'm here, I might as well grab this in case I need it to go into Maya.
Absolutely. Seems like a great idea because, one, you'll have Bombos, and I think Bombos is one of the most useful of the 3 medallions.
It definitely
general
is
anyway.
the most defensively useful of all 3. They wouldn't need it for Ice Palaces go around because they do have the Fire Rod already, but it's still a very handy one to have sometimes. Like
Well,
if you
City,
absolutely positively do not want to deal with the room, you just use bombos and voila.
exactly. Meanwhile, Sydney actually performing the Ice Palace bomb jump pretty well.
Yeah,
Only
believe
took
that
him a
was
couple
his-
tries and got it.
yeah, I believe he missed it once and then he got it, which is pretty good.
Absolutely. So Bite Size not checking the oh, I guess he just saved and quit. He's gonna check it now, maybe.
Looking like it. Without the mirror, it's probably slightly safer.
Oh,
than
Sydney
actually running
find
out of
so
stuff.
Sydney found a key in that chest with the 2 Icemen, which means he's actually going to be able to go through the entirety of Ice Palace rather than
Yep.
having to beat it and then come back through here without the hook shot.
Yep, that's very good to know. We did get a check on what medallion was required for the
Hey,
miner.
blue
I
nail! We
quite
got
managed
some
myself.
armor upgrades and ether medallion,
Okay,
so it no longer matters.
Yeah, it no longer matters. They're good for BK and Fouton are good for whatever medallions are needed for this particular seed. And BK appears to be going straight into Misery Mire, which actually has the vanilla requirement of ether.
And which was right next to the right next to it. So
Yeah.
Misery Mire shed holding the key to Misery Mire itself.
I imagine the boat's hoping for a vanilla cane here. I also found the blue mail vial in the Maya shed, which is gonna be very helpful for this dungeon.
Looks like Ozzy's doing the same thing. So we got 3 runners that are gonna hope for a vanilla cane of Samaria here.
Yeah, well, S1nhe is polishing off Ice Palace. I imagine most of them opted for going for Misery Mire because it's actually a crystal dungeon, so I'll have to go through here anyway, while Ice Palace is pendant, so it's technically not required. And so far, it doesn't seem to.
Yeah,
have
but
been
S1nhe
anything
picked up the
important.
mirror in Ice Palace.
Oh, did he pick up the mirror there?
And he saved and quit?
Yeah, I think he might have
Ice
found
Palace
all
is
the
empty,
items in
right,
there.
so...
Yeah. Yeah, he did find the mirror in there, so the Ice Palace visit was very important, and that'll make, for him, it'll make checking things a lot more convenient, and also opens up the front half of Swan Palace. It's not available for completion until he finds the hookshot, however, but looking at things right now, we might be looking at a vanilla hookshot play. But he's probably going to check the mirror overworld locations first. And yeah, it has been confirmed to not be a pesticide.
Yes, it has.
I believe it was just a capture cache, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Nah, S1nhe is instead going to opt for a much more convenient way of checking the smiths and will also shortly be picking up the silver arrows. Meanwhile, Mystery Maya appears to not have paid out with anything much just
I
yet.
haven't seen anything yet, but still got some places to check before we call it a complete bust.
Yep.
Now, there's a piece of heart as one of the items.
Mm-hmm. It's looking like I have a feeling BK might actually be making the right play when it comes to finding the remaining item in here, even though nobody wants to do this particular room.
Right, exactly.
Because frankly, it takes just as long as these similar rooms in the Palace of Darkness and Desert Palace, but it feels so long because you can't see the ball progressing.
I completely agree. It's the not having the vision on the stupid wall. Bite size also on one heart right now, so
Yeah, it's gotta put him on edge. That might make that dwarfing out of here very convenient if he doesn't find the item he's looking for.
I think it's gonna be in the big chest.
Yep, that's all Vitrius, and of course Vitrius they cannot reach right now.
Oh, poor Ozzy trying to bonk jump over that gap, not having any of it.
No, that gap is slightly mispositioned for bonk jumping. What you can however just dash across the bottom here and make it in time.
Yep.
And there he goes. And
And
it's
it's
just 20 rupees, so
Man.
Mystery Maya did not contain much of anything.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh, there's a bottle of red goo down there.
Yeah,
in the,
that's gonna be nice for S1nhe.
So at this point, I think S1nhe's almost out ahead of everyone at this
Yeah.
point. He's got the mirror.
Actually, yeah, thinking about it, we could also check the entirety of East Dead Mountain, including both the Light and Dark World parts of it, and there's a lot of possible items there.
Right. Go up to finish Tower of Hera. Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff he can do up there. I wonder
Yep.
what he's gonna go after dropping off the lunchbox.
But he's gonna check in, hand in Gary's lunchbox first, and what's in here? It's just 20 rupees, so, well, buy your own lunch, I guess.
Apparently. He's got the book. He can actually, with the mirror, he's gonna go check the Bombo's tablet.
Yeah, that's also a very good idea. Especially since he's in the area anyway. I wonder if he'll go into Swan Palace because he's in the area, or if he'll opt for the Death Mountain play.
I think I would go up Death Mountain first.
I think so too, and looking at the fact that he's taking out his flute, I imagine he is in fact making that play. But actually no, also going to the Mystery Maya area.
Oh.
Let's see if he'll also be making the Mystery Maya play. And looks like Fouton meanwhile is going into the Ice Palace and will also then shortly have the mirror.
Slightly longer than shortly. The mirror is actually kind of deep inside here, but he'll have it at some point. Let's see here. Yep, S1nhe picking up his ether medallion and his blue.
Yep. And
Chad
BK
asking if mirror is required. The answer is yes. Swamp Palace is required.
Yep. And but BK will also shortly be picking up the silver arrows from the stump here. And meanwhile, S1nhe is the first person to be able to check a board cave. And in here those 3 bombs.
Oh, unless some explosives up there.
Yep. Now where is he floating off to?
It's gotta be one, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
especially
it's
with
one.
that switch to mirror. He's gonna go up to the Tower of Hera.
Tower of Hera, and then as you said, he's got almost the entirety of the East Death Mountain. The only thing he can't do is Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, that is correct. And who knows? Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see the hookshot cave having the hookshot in it, because you can bonk it at one chest in there.
Yeah, I have had that before.
Yeah, that's also another one of those things that easily catches people off guard, because you do not expect to have to do that.
Not at all. The bite size also getting a guard on him.
Yep. Guess it just easily happened while you're making that run from there. Looks like Fouton got the bomb jump in a single try. Very nice.
Very nice on the bomb jump. Ether tablet having nothing, so our tablets are just not really paying out this time.
No. And that panel didn't have much either, did it?
No, Desert Palace.
Oh, well, it had the bombos tablets in it, and that might be important, but otherwise. That's the big key, and that's the big key already in Tower of Hera, so if S1nhe is lucky with item placement, they may be able to skip doing the tile room entirely. That's the compass, that's a less good sign.
Ozzy gonna find out the unfortunateness that the Palace Dark is not really having much for our runners right now.
Nope. In fact, I believe the Palace of Darkness held just nothing at all. Perhaps there's still an item left on Helmosaur. I can't say I've been counting chests, but and there's Fouton's mirror.
Yeah, there's at least 3 chests left they can check. So, well, 2 chests and the boss. So.
Yep.
Grabbing the mirror, it looks like he's gonna go in.
He is setting up. Ooh, just missed the bomb. Bomb jumping, going to fall down 2 floors.
That one feels hard to set up.
Yeah, especially with that very quick setup they were doing. And BK trying to figure out where to go next. The answer in this goes is Ice Palace for the mirror, but let's see if he figures that out. And Fouton also opting to save and quit after checking the big chest, so I imagine they actually have all the items in there, but maybe they just don't feel up for killing Colts there.
It's entirely possible. Meanwhile, S1nhe making his way up towards the... Oh no, he's gonna do vanilla big chest now.
Yep, that's good, that's good. He doesn't want to lose more time to missing the bomb jump again, it's just an arrow capacity upgrade.
Fortunate, that was really disappointing.
Yeah.
I feel like Death Mountain's gonna hold something though.
Yeah, it almost has to. Like, it starts with the front half of Swamp, and, well, I know our runners definitely do not want the front half of Swamp to pay out with anything right now.
Exactly.
And that's one spin, and the
slide. Oh, nice.
All goes down very, very smoothly.
So Trolltorm, not really staking up to the name today. There's a key. Did we get both items out of here?
I only saw that arrow capacity upgrade, but we'll see whether S1nhe decides to go back in, or if they'll opt to just go straight east, and we'll just base it off now. BK meanwhile also appears to unfortunately be making a play on Palace of Darkness. It's going to be a big waste of time, sadly, but he has no way of knowing this, and it's a fairly solid location to check.
S1nhe not going back down the basement? Either he doesn't want to do it, or he does.
It's when we find the map. I'll try to keep a closer eye on Fouton's stream and see if we just skip the item or not. And there's a quick spiral cave with the boots for a change. You don't see that too often anymore.
I know.
Ooh, and making some very nice swacks and cane dash threats here to get past the jellies without having to even worry about being electrified.
Yeah, man, so far, just not too much of it. Got a lot of just left.
And yeah, it looks like that S1nhe did in fact take 30 items over here in the Tower of Hera. The other item was just 20 rupees.
Oh, gotcha. Fouton going for the using the dash stretch. Oh no!
Oh no!
No!
At least he only falls down a single floor here, but oh my, that's unfortunate because now he's going to have to do that bomb jump again.
Oh man, he had that perfect too.
Yeah, anyway, let's see. Paradox Escape so far not paying out for S1nhe.
Let's get some heart containers, you know, getting more life is more better, but still.
Okay,
Right, get it the second time again, so he's got both the items now. He's gonna go fight Trolldorm.
Yeah, Ozzy is meanwhile making a play here on Ice Palace and going to pick up very shortly.
Well, we've got a lot of pointy arrows in the chests here, but nothing of note yet. And
that was
nothing.
Nothing, though. If there's anything here, it's going to have to be held in the Dark World part of it.
I think at this point, going into bytesize taking. I don't know if that was an unfortunate death or no, that was a threat of chance.
That might have been a warp considering it's Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, it was. So I think I'd also check what. Well, I guess you don't have to check what's on the Eternal Rock. You've got all 3 medallions, so never mind.
Yeah, you could just get going there entirely and leave us in the dark, but it's for him. It doesn't matter. In fact, the only runner for whom it might matter right now is Ozzy because they never went back to pick up the Pomos medallion, which is very understandable because it's a bit of a detour and might not be required anymore.
Alright, so we're gonna get to see what's in the other 2 chests up here in Death Mountain.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting, and it's 300 rupees and it's 3 bombs. Well, there's one left. There's one chest left, so you can check while up here. So let's hope that plays out. Because if not, then it looks like the front half of Swamp is in fact the play.
You know, it's not just going to be a simple payout in the front half of the
No.
Swamp. It's going to give us the bow, which is going to lead to the hook shot some other way.
And yeah, in fact, in a race I did a while ago, a week or 2 ago, that actually happened. I found the bow in left side swamp, and that led to the hook shot off of the Almost Knights. It's something you don't want to see, trust me on that one.
No. So S1nhe hasn't done Spike Cave yet, so he's going to go take care of that. Meanwhile, bytesizedBK jumping out of the Palace of Darkness. Hopefully he will take to Ice Palace here. Meanwhile, Ozzy gonna find his mirror in relatively short order. So Death Mountain having nothing so far.
Yeah, that's amazing. That it just hasn't played off at all yet. There might still be something hiding there in either Total Rock or in deeper in the Hookshot Cave, but those are locations they cannot actually check yet, so there's no point in going there.
I think at this point I would just focus immediately on Swamp Palace. I'm wondering why the runners just aren't going there.
No, they all still have other locations to check, I guess. Like, I believe S1nhe hasn't done the old Smith's business yet, so he's probably going to do that soon. Or,
no, he has. He's got the silver arrows.
Part of it. Was S1nhe the one that did part of it, like, did the same equip with the frog, and then did a purple chest because of it?
Awesome. bytesizedBK now making the play into Ice Palace.
Yeah, well, Fouton is going to quickly activate the portal on top of Total Rock and possibly open it for convenience later, though of course he will not be able to enter the dungeon unless he's very competent at hovering. And it's Quake that's needed for Total Rock, so all of our runners are... Oh, actually, all of our runners do have all 3 pendants at this point, I think regardless. All 3 medallions, I'm sorry.
No, we had vanilla medallion requirements.
Yep, that's a rarity actually.
Who randomized this thing anyway?
but it wouldn't be properly randomized if we couldn't have no outcomes.
Fouton finding the unfortunate news in the hookshot cave. That
Yep.
hookshot's not in there.
And it's looking like S1nhe is going to make he's going to be the first one to make the play on Swamp Palace.
Yeah, this has to be it, right?
Yeah, it basically has to be. It's real unfortunate. I imagine we might see a kind of sync up in Swamp Palace again in a little bit, because I imagine it's going to be the last place to check for all 4 of our runners.
Was that one shot on the bomb jump for bite size?
I believe it might have been. I certainly didn't see him stuck in the room for very long. I wasn't paying too close attention there.
It's like all of our runners are very competent in that maneuver. Looks like Ozzy's actually going to go ahead and beat Cold Stare.
Yeah, that's going to make them the first to actually beat Cold Stare, and we'll be able to perfectly see whether everybody else was right into choosing to just leave the dungeon. Considering the level of play on this play so far, I imagine all of them did actually count the items and realized that Cold Stare wouldn't pay out, though not all of them have checked the pedestal, so they were taking a slight risk there.
Yeah, maybe that might be Ozzy's thing. He may realize it's not an item, but he may not have checked the pedestal. At least I haven't seen him check it, so... Yeah, my guess is he's doing this just in case. If you don't know the pedestal isn't required, I think I would do this too.
Yeah.
From where he was at, beating Cold Stare with Tempered Sword is not exactly a very long prospect, so...
Yep.
Especially when you take him down that well. Holy crap.
Yeah, that was a very good fight again.
Kate of Samaria!
Kate of Samaria, so the two
Oh
runs-
no!
Oh my god, that is a major mistake on the part of all 3 other
Everyone
runners
else-
who went into Ice Palace but did not clear Cold Stare.
Everyone else missed that.
And that gives Ozzy a commanding lead, in my opinion, because
Oh,
it is going to
absolutely.
be an incredibly long time before any of them decide to go back there. And that also opens up Turtle Rock to Ozzy, and it is in fact fully completable. And
Yeah.
it's looking very likely like he might actually be making that play immediately. Which is understandable, because was he one of the runners who actually
No, he
went to the
hasn't been
invited?
to Tower Perry yet either, so...
He must not have gone up to Dead Mountain at all yet, so I imagine he might go in from Hera into Turtle Rock at this point.
I think, yeah, you might as well go in and check it. I mean, 'cause Turtle Rock, even with a pendant, it's got 5 items inside of it.
So far, Swamp Palace has given a red mail to S1nhe. Not exactly what you're looking for, and at this point in the seed, unlike before, they're actually quite healthy, so it's not that required.
So while we have a moment, guys, I'd just like to say, hey, give all these runners a follow. Seriously, these guys are letting us restream their race, and they're doing a really fun job entertaining everybody. So please, guys, give all these runners a follow. Follow our trackers, and give Doo to follow. He's awesome.
Yeah, and on that note, also give my good friend here, OPT Lawyer, a follow, because he was humble enough to not name himself, and that is in and of itself a very good quality, is it not?
Finish the left side of Swamp here, and maybe he'll find something.
If this is the hook shot, that might have some very interesting implications for the rest of the runners.
I'm gonna have to agree with the chat here. It's gonna be a long time before I think any 3 of these will find the Candace and Mario.
All 3 of the other runners went into Ice Palace and cleared everything in there except for Cold Stare. So yeah, that's gonna be the last thing on the mind. Is going to get back in there to get the cane.
I missed what was in the first chest S1nhe picked up. Oh, it's just a piece of heart.
Yeah, it was just a piece of heart. He's going to check the other chest here now.
Last one. Just a green
just a-
ruby.
Yeah,
So
it's-
unfortunately, that Cane of Samaria has got to lead to something, right?
Yeah, and it's just it's anybody's question whether that something is from Misery Maya. Oh no, wait, they found those items in Misery Maya, did they not?
Right. So I
So
think that
it
means
has to be Turtle Rock, because that is the
Turtle Rock
only
has
other.
to have something.
Yeah, that is the only other location the Cane of Samaria unlocks.
Yeah. Man.
And yeah, Maya is in fact required, as chat points out, but there is a large difference between doing Maya, because you have to do it for a crystal, or if you still have to look for items there. S1nhe is going to go into Maya and hasn't been there at all yet, and will be the first one to be able to fully clear the dungeon. Oh no, wait, never mind. What am I saying? That's S1nhe isn't the one with the cane, that's ozipone.
Right.
So in fact, S1nhe is going to find nothing for their efforts, sadly. Maya, what a thing to have happened. What a very unfortunate thing to have
I
happened.
know. I'm kind of stunned.
Yeah,
Like,
just,
one runner doing it, I get miscounting, but 3 of them? Not...
yeah, 3 of them making the exact same mistake is something you never want to see and you never expect to see.
And it's not, as I said when he went to do it, it's not like Coldstare was that far away from where he was at.
No. It's absolutely shocking to see happen. It's looking very likely like all the other runners might be opting to check Swamp Panels without the hookshot first, and that is not going to give them anything except a red mail.
Fortunately.
Well, the red mail isn't a bad thing to have. It's,
No, not at all. It's great.
Not going to help. It's not going to help them in this particular scenario. At least for S1nhe and BK, the advantage here isn't that both of them have made the same mistake, so they both have an equal chance, but it's very unfortunate for Fouton.
Exactly. Yeah, while the red mail is great and all, we've seen like every one of these runners do like 6-heart green mail modula, so I feel like that's not exactly a urgent problem in this seed.
No, it's definitely not going to be a problem for these runners at all with how easily they pulled off some of the other boss fights with such low supplies. And ozipone is nearly to the point where they're going into Turtle Rock. They're just going to have to check these last couple of chests here first, and then they will have to make that play. Oh, well, they should be making that play. I'm not certain if they'll actually will immediately do so. I'm not certain if they checked the Maya area yet or not. I believe they have, but...
I think so. So, S1nhe gonna find the unfortunate fact that the big chest inside here has nothing of use.
Yep, it's just 20 rupees, and I do believe that does in fact account for both the items in Misery Maya.
I'm gonna check his chest in the hookshot cave, finding his piece of heart.
Yep, while Fouton is about to pick up the red mail. S1nhe is going to check the Palace of Darkness, no likelihood, which again, you know, isn't going to pay out, but sadly. And OZ is in fact making a play on Turtle Rock, so we'll be seeing soon what Turtle Rock holds for us. Will we in fact be seeing the legendary bow on Trinex?
I'm calling Laser Bridge.
Yeah, Laser Bridge is also a very good spot for that. They do have the Cane of Burner, so it is officially accessible as far as the logic is concerned.
Exactly. You know, S1nhe making the play on Palace of Darkness with Kiki. Hi, Kiki. Kiki, the amazingly extortionist little monkey.
Yeah. Thankfully, you only have to pay him once. Imagine if that place relocked every time you visited it and you couldn't actually complete it. That would be really annoying.
Very much so. We'd see people get into the idea you actually have to farm rupees up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Turtle Rock is definitely the play to make here after getting that cane. So
Just who to start off with, but Turtle Rock actually shares a very similar property with Palace of Darkness, in which most of the items are actually in the back part of it usually. So that doesn't say much. Like, it's very likely that Ozzy will just be finding various keys to begin with until he gets to the big key area and beyond.
indeed. So what are we all completely looking for here? We're looking for the bow, and that's pretty much it. Oh, the hook shot. The bow and the hook shot.
The bow and
That's
the
it.
hook shot are indeed the only two items still needed for Ozzy. All the other runners are still looking for the cane off of Coldster, and the cane appears to be the item blocking the rest of their progression right now.
Oh no! Ozzy!
No, please, please. I think you can make it. You can make it. You can definitely make it.
Oh, yeah,
And he
okay.
made it. Good, good.
Okay, he's just screwing around with us there, clearly.
Yeah, I must have been doing that on purpose to build a bit of extra suspense. There's my key and the big key.
So there's all the keys, not all the keys.
Ooh, and he's doing a very swag cane dash back.
Very stylish.
And quick.
So Fouton realizing that there's not much else here in Swamp Palace. There's not too many places for him to check. I wonder how long it's going to take anyone to realize maybe I missed something in Ice Palace. But man, if you think you're done with it. No, he's going there.
Yep. That's good, that's good.
Okay, so he is going back there. He's probably going to be kicking himself for just skipping Cold Stare.
Yeah. Especially when he finds that cane. He'll be locked into position for it. But I wonder if he'll let out his frustration after he leaves Ice Palace for a little bit, because it must be really frustrating to have happen, and it's going to make you feel really bad about your position in the race. Because it's very likely your opponent also had to make the Ice Palace play and also found the mirror and then went on to actually kill Coldster, and for Fouton that is absolutely true, that actually happened. Now let's see what the next chest here in Total Rock pulls for us, and it's 50 rupees. Well, it's an item.
Yeah, it's an item. So
It was the
just gotta
very
go
first
deeper.
item we found here in Total Rock that wasn't the key, I think.
There's 4 left, because there's 5 unique items inside here.
I believe when most of them first reached Coldster, they had they didn't have the blue mail,
No, they have
but
no.
they did have 8 hearts, they did have half magic, and they did have the fire rods, and some of them at least also had bombos, so they were in a fairly good spot for killing it, really.
And again, based off of the other fights we've seen, they would have made cake out of whole Cold Stare, I think.
Yep.
Oh, right, Mimic Cave. I completely forgot.
Thankfully, Ozzy did not.
Right, so Bow and Mimic Cave?
Bow and Mimic Cave is also a classic, and is also one of those that actually catches people off guard, and we've made a lot of reference to that so far, so maybe it'll actually happen this time, and it's
Just some money.
100 rupees. Well.
Okay, so back to Turtle Rock now.
Yep.
Where's S1nhe going?
And
pyramid
Bikini.
check.
There's the hook shot.
There's our hook shot.
That means that Swamp is now completable for Ozzy, and it also means that the bow might be there.
Could be in
I was
the
going
rest
to say
of
the
the
bow
hook shot
might be
game.
at the Pyramid Ferry, but then I remembered that Eastern Palace is the other crystal required for that, so this Pyramid Ferry will sadly not be required or indeed seen in this very seed.
I think it's Ozzy's making the right play to continue in Turtle Rock, because I've definitely.
That would definitely not skip out of this dungeon at this point, because I've seen people I've actually seen people lose races to make the decision of leaving T-Rock after finding a key item there.
Huh?
I wonder if he'll do a quick check of his menu after finishing the laser bridge and determine whether the Trinex just has the map or compass or is actually worth doing.
Ooh, nice laser skip.
Yep, got it once.
Oh, he had it!
Yeah, just the bonk hat. That's a piece of heart. And he's going to make the right switch to use the kind of turn off the rest of it. That's another key, and what's the final item here? It's the map.
Oh
It's
no!
the map. So
Trinex has an
actually
item!
does hold an item.
Oh no!
Fouton, meanwhile, is just about to pick up his cane of Samaria as soon as Cold Star is finished.
Looks like Ozzy is going to go ahead and best Trinex to see what he's holding.
I don't blame him at all, especially after that Cold Star with the cane.
Yeah. Come on, Trinex, have the bow. Come on.
If Trinex has the bow, that would be amazing, and I imagine that once they reach that point, none of the runners will make the mistake of trying to skip another boss kill.
Never. So Fouton
Jackson
finally
is-
picking up his cane of Samaria, so I wonder what his next move will be.
I imagine it has to be Turtle Rock, especially if not safe and quit to Mountain Cave. Yep. And S1nhe, meanwhile, is also going to start making their way towards Cold Star, and is also going to pick up the cane of Samaria.
Oh, nice. So our runners are remembering that they left that. I guess maybe they just decided that it wasn't worth going to?
Yeah, they must have, but wow, that decision certainly came back to bite them.
Right, so he's finding another ball.
Yeah.
All right, your moment of truth here.
Yeah, what does he... Let's hold it.
Oh, it's just a piece of art.
Aww. Oh well.
He
It
had to
looks-
do it.
Anyway, Ozzy is gonna check the rest of Hookshot Cave, I imagine, because the bow might be done. If not, it is almost guaranteed to be in Swamp Palace.
Yep, he's definitely going over in that direction, so... Meanwhile, Fouton making his way up to Turtle Rock.
Yep, that's the first chest, that's a piece of heart. And 20 rupees.
And...
another
Oh!
plenty. So, Swamp Palace is the play, it seems.
Yep.
And looking at the save and quit location,
Oh, he's
once
going
again,
right
I
there.
imagine that's where he's going.
He's going right there. He finds that bow, he's in go mode, and he knows it. So the only advantage Fouton might have is that he's already done most of Swamp Palace, whereas I don't
Yeah.
think Ozzy went in there.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I imagine Ozzy will not be getting by that play so far. I doubt they'll be trying to skip the left side in the hopes of finding the bow earlier, but we'll see. In fact, it looks like they're going to make a quick check of the Bombos tablet since they did not do so before.
And that makes sense. And not having hookshot for this. Oh no! Fouton lit all the torches and he's not going to make it back in time.
Yep. He must have forgotten that he didn't have the hookshot yet, which is understandable because it doesn't happen very often that you do not have the hookshot in this position.
Yeah.
Let's see, BK meanwhile is heading towards Link's house. Is he going to check the front half of Swamp? I thought he already did that because he's in Mills now.
Yeah, he is.
Not
I wonder
certain where he's going.
Maybe the tablet?
Might be the tablet, yeah.
Ozzy gonna go check the Haunted Grove ledge here.
Yeah, he's Ozzy is going out of his way to make certain that the bow could be anywhere else than Swamp Palace, because he really doesn't want to have to go through that entire dungeon.
So the worst thing is going to be when Swamp Palace doesn't have the bow, but it has like the powder.
Yeah. Yeah, because we only have another location to check, but at least it's just that singular location, and if I found a single fetch quest item in the final dungeon, final dungeon I could check like that, I would immediately just beeline for that one. That wouldn't even cost that much time.
Absolutely. Bite Size going towards Misery Mire. Which he's already open, so... Oh, Checkerboard Cave. He hasn't checked that yet.
Oh, I see.
He's doing everything he can with the mirror right now.
Yeah. He's gonna check everything else before he goes back into Swamp to pick up his
Which
cane.
is unfortunately going to give S1nhe a massive lead here as S1nhe grabs the Cane of Samaria from Cold Stare.
Yep. Ooh, just barely missed the first pin, so this is going to be a little bit unless a cold staff, right? But I imagine he can pull it off just fine. Especially with a bit of fire cloud use here and there.
Bite Size is looking at his map.
Down. Ooh, BK just staring at the map screen. It's Ice Palace you want, man. Just go to Ice Palace, that's where it is.
Yeah, it looks like that's where he's... Oh, yep, he's going
good,
back
he
there.
remembers. Good, good. He isn't even that far behind S1nhe, thankfully, then.
So we've
S1nhe
got...
just finished picking up the Cane of Samaria.
So all of our runners are going to be back on track here.
Yeah, thankfully.
That is still so weird.
Yeah. It's so it's really unusual that three of them all made that same fateful decision.
Instead of going up to Turtle Rock, S1nhe's actually going to go defeat Misery Mire first.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that, I guess, so I guess it's just a case of get it out of the way, make absolutely certain that's not the final item you need there. And let's see if Ozzy is going to make the left side, and Ozzy is in fact going to make the left side play first. I'm going to find much there, but we'll be able to do it a little bit quicker than the other runners due to having the hook shot.
Yeah, and it's a good play because you're still looking for that bow, and it could really be.
Yeah, you want to make certain. In this, it's a very sensible play. It's not the right play in this particular situation, but of course, Ozzy has absolutely no way of knowing it like we do. Became missing the quick kill on the two Stavros Knights here, but he pulls off a nice recovery and gets them fairly quickly anyway. Let's see. S1nhe is going down to Polster, Tritrius. Let's see if there was in fact another item using my... I do not believe there is, because I thought
No,
it was
I think we got both.
20 rupees in the piece of heart there,
Yeah,
but
we
we'll
got
see.
both in here, so... Bite Size making the bomb jump on the second try.
Yep, and then... Oh no, he's gonna have to do it again, because you do actually get hit by this particular fireball when bonking over a gap.
He got it on his second try, so...
Yeah. So far he's got a pretty good track record of it actually. I think he only failed one out of 3 one time and then did it successfully 3 times, so it's pretty good on average.
Making his way through the Misery Mire in very quick fashion, having already had the big key, which clearly makes this dungeon go a lot faster.
Gonna have to do cold stare without... Well, do I keep calling this other eyeball calls there? Can have to do Fiturious without the bow though, which is an annoying fight, but should be doable enough with the resources they have. And he wisely took out the red potion for healing because he's gonna need that if he's gonna do this spin strat.
Oh, Fouton making the choice to not go kill Trinex. Now we know that's an okay decision, but man, what a after you've already had that happen once.
Yeah, but you must feel like he's behind, and he's not running that count. But yeah.
Right.
I think he's going to go up to Hookshot Cave now.
Yeah, absolutely, that would be a very urgent thing to check. Unfortunately, again, we know that there's nothing inside there, but all right, Ozzy's finally going to make his way to the last 3-item chest, and then on his way to the boss. Let's find out. What we got? Big key. Oh gosh, so he can go back and check.
Yep, he's good. Go.
I'll start.
Try again. To go back.
And
and S1nhe in the meantime, the bottom left corner pulled off a very neat little kill of Fiturious without the bow.
Very well done. So he's actually ahead in crystals, I think, at the moment on his, well, at least in his race.
Yeah, but it's
and he's making his way up to Turtle Rock, so. Right size. Still full clearing the rest of Ice Palace, so he didn't grab anything.
Yeah. I think he just I guess BK just figured finding the mirror that was the only thing there, but nope.
We got a bow!
And we got the bow, good.
That's gonna put Ozzy into go mode!
Gonna quickly check and get a regular arrow out of that final waterfall chest in Swarm, but you never know, it might have been the final Swarm upgrade.
Exactly, but hey, it was, you know, the most important arrow in the entire game, so.
Yeah, and who knows, it might make the difference. Sure, he has 65 arrows right now, but he might shoot all of those and somehow need that very final arrow to finish off Ganon.
Exactly. Chad asking why he's checking chests. Well, he can find the butter sword, and I mean, they're right in his path, so he might as well open them.
Yeah, it's very rare for people to skip that particular chest in the waterfall room in Swamp Palace even if they're in go out, because it's a very, very, very quick check, and it might give you something to speed up the rest if you're clear.
Nice taking care of those
yeah, that was a very good cold start fight on BK's part.
And cold start fight, absolutely. Ozzy taking out Argus?
Argus, yeah. And if you really wanted to, no wait, never mind, he's supposed to finish off Hasten Palace. But if after Hasten Palace, if he really wanted to, he could check the Pyramid Ferry, though I very much doubt he'll opt to go for that, because it's not going to be worth the time, even if it does have the Butter Sword there.
Right, I think the timing that he would save with Butter Sword would be completely trumped by how much time he'd spend getting it, so.
Yeah, because the Tempered Sword saves is a very significant time saver compared to the Master Sword, but the Butter Sword isn't nearly as much. There's a lot of enemies already die in one swing to the Tempered Sword as is, and unlike having the Master Sword to Tempered Sword, you can just reuse regular slashes with both swords on Ganon.
Right. So all of our runners now have the Cane of Samaria, so that's nice.
Yeah, the race is on. And it's looking like Fouton is making the illusion to just finish off Swamp Palace right now. We'll be finding the bow short and be in go mode very shortly.
He is not too far behind Ozzy.
Yeah, all things considered.
Especially how long he went without killing Cold Stairs.
Yeah, considering how long it... Yeah, when you consider how long it took for him to reach the point where he reached Cold... killed Cold Stair compared to Ozzy, it's amazing that he's only behind a couple minutes.
And honestly speaking, BK's not too far behind S1nhe.
No, those are extremely close. They're basically I don't
Bite
think
Size
it's
still has to
even
do
minutes gap.
Misery Mire, but that's not that, as we just saw, that's not that long of a prospect, so.
Yeah, but indeed, already having checked Misery Mire, it's not going to be too long. It does make it more than like a minute, like I was saying just now, but it's a couple of minutes, and that's something that could definitely be made up for in execution. Yeah, and BK actually realizes he needs to take the longer route here
Right.
instead of just lighting the torches immediately, so he saves a little bit of time there by correcting himself.
Time getting his bow. He's going to run up and be in go mode now as well.
Yeah.
He's not checking this chest.
Oh, it's just as well. It does save him a little bit of time. There was nothing of worth in there anyway, but...
What are you talking about? It was the single arrow. That's the most important arrow in the game, sir.
I mean, I suppose it is the most important arrow in the game, but at the same time, it's something that you could easily skip.
Right. And so Ozzy making very short work of Vitreous.
Yeah, it
Just
is
got
an
Eastern Palace
extremely quick
left.
fight with the silver arrows.
Oh, I love that fight with the silver arrows.
Yeah, this is satisfying to do and just beat him for even cycle one. Ooh, and Fouton is actually doing a really good dash poke strat with the hook shots here. This is trickier to pull off than you think, because I believe it effectively requires doing item dash in every single one of those hook shots he uses. And there is his swamp crystal. He's probably up. Well, he's either off to Eastern Palace or Misery Mine next. It doesn't really matter that much because, well, he's in go mode.
City checking the Mimic Cave. Light Side getting through Turtle Rock.
Yep.
Ozzy gonna go through the rest of Eastern Palace. He's already been in here, so he's just got to march directly to the boss, Armos.
Yeah, it looks like Fouton is going to, well... Yeah, I think he wanted to go to 6 and accidentally went to 7. Yep, there we go, he's going to clear Misery Mire. Wow.
Ozzy is clearly ahead, but you never know. Some decisions in Ganon's Tower may turn this around. Some execution, don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll see the famous Tower Room gamble happen with the Tower Room having the big key and also making the usually much smarter decision of clearing out everything else first. Wouldn't that be something?
No. The race is not over until someone got done, so.
Yep.
Ozzy just 2 rooms away from Armos.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a quick fight with these silver arrows. Thinking he'll miss it.
City getting knocked off Laser Bridge at the last second.
Yeah, it's not even. It's just gonna be the map flow. Cine go. That Cine once again also opts to skip Trinax. It's interesting that once again they're skipping a boss. In this case, it's the right call. But I would be very hesitant to do so if I'd had that situation with Cold Star happen earlier.
Bite size. Wait, is he thinking he just got the hook shot? Is he gonna leave?
If he leaves, he's once again making the right decision, but it is a hell of a gamble.
That is one hell of a gamble, but he made it. He's left. Oh my gosh!
He is with the flood location he chooses, and he's going to go and find his bow in Swamp Palace next. And And it's gonna look very close on S1nhe's and BK's screens because of that, though. Of course, S1nhe has a slight advantage in already having beaten Misery Maya.
Indeed. But I don't think it's going to take BK too long. He'll be about, what, maybe 3 minutes behind? 4?
Yep, something like that. But regardless, Ozzy is about to make a very important part of any randomizer races. Race. He is going to head into Ganon's Tower, and as everybody knows, we love playing a guessing game in Ganon's Tower. So, chat, let us know what chest here in Ganon's Tower do you think will hold the big key? Guess a number or guess a location, either is fine. And I promise I will maybe keep track of what you said, but don't believe me too much on that one.
Well, dude, what do you think?
Personally, I always like guessing number 3. Whether that means it's the tower room, or the torch, or possibly just the chest over on the right side, and we'll leave that up to your imagination. It can be all 3.
I'm gonna guess above Ice Armos.
In the vanilla location, basically.
Yep, good old vanilla big key. That's
Yeah, it could be. That's also always an interesting one, because there's 2 approaches to Ice Armos, and one of them is actually slightly quicker than the other, but rarely taken. Darkles Ozzy appears to be making the standard play of just quickly hopping in to check those 2 chests, and he finds a key, regular one, and 2 in the green rupee, and now he's opting to continue on the right side.
So as far as I've been able to tell, this is pretty standard anymore.
Yeah,
if you
this
find
is
a key in
definitely
one of these 2.
this definitely seems to be the standard play nowadays. Unlike the last tournament in which the standard play was checking these 2 chests and then proceeding to the left.
Skips tile room, so right now, Fouton, if the big key's in the tile room and Fouton decides to do that first,
yeah, that could make a lot of difference in the race.
because he's just a few minutes out from being done with Armos here and going up towards Turtle Rock or Ganon's Tower himself. Meanwhile, S1nhe and Bite-Size are on the same screen.
Yeah, that's amazing. Look, if you just looked at the stream right now, you'd think BK is slightly ahead, but it's actually the other way around because of the Misery Maya completion on S1nhe's part. And it looks like the conference room chest still did not pay out, so we're on 6 chests right now on Ozzy's stream.
Alright,
And
so
regardless-
left side.
Yep, this is going to be location number 7. And
Oh, there it is!
there
It's on the
it
block
is.
map!
It is in fact on the torch. So if you guessed 7, you got it right. And looking at the chat, there is in fact one person who guessed number 7. Congratulations.
You've won a big box of absolutely nothing, and we don't get to keep the box.
Yeah. Perhaps if you have a cat, your cat will appreciate this big box there. You'll have to
Exactly.
forgive us because it's an imaginary big box.
Indeed. Alright, Ozzy making his way up Ganon's Tower. Really, at this point, it's pretty much his race. The only thing that's going to stop him if he makes a major mistake, that's really it.
Yep.
Oh, I just realized we found our very first shield in Eastern Palace, and that's it.
Yep. It's amazing. It's amazing that we've also gone without finding any shields at all for so long. There are, after all, 3 of those upgrades in the game, and it's fairly common to find them much sooner than this.
That's really the only way Fouton can save a lot of time is if he just goes left to start. But Ozzy making his way through the cannons.
Yep.
Not going to heal the fairies. He's going directly into the gauntlet. 4 rooms that just make me cry, but
Yeah.
takes care of the first one real easily.
Yeah. Let's see how he does this one. I always dislike this one with the 3 star foes personally because they're annoying enemies. He takes care of that quite smoothly too. And in the meantime, we also have synced Argus fights going on the bottom.
Nice. Ozzy taking care of that gauntlet room pretty well. Now we've added ice to the problem, so
Yeah.
oh, nicely
he
done.
takes
though.
care of
Clean
that
room.
very well too. See, this room is also a little annoying due to the RNG on the little Stalfos as it's demonstrating right here. And ooh, a nice very nice magic pickup. It's maybe
Yeah,
convenient for clearing the rest of this.
Every time he doesn't have magic powder, so he's not going to be able to heal off of this. So he's going into the Lamola's 2 fight with like 6.5 hearts left.
Yep, let's see how the Lambo fight goes. This is one, gets one. Oh, that's one cycle. Ooh.
He's getting on 2, but he's taking him
Just
down.
one more to go, and he gets it. It's a 3-cycle Lambo.
Meanwhile, Fouton is just going to enter Ganon's tower here in a minute, so he's not too far behind, but unfortunately for him, he is far enough behind, but you never know.
Notice he might make up a little bit of time if he checks the left side locations first instead of opting to go deeper into the right side into the real location.
Yep. Oh, nice! Ozzy with the 4 Wizrobe room in one
Yeah,
shot.
that was a very smooth one. His gauntlet has been extremely smooth overall.
Indeed. Alright, Fouton going with the right side first. Let's see if he checks these 2 and goes back, or if he goes in like everyone else.
And he goes
going
back,
up.
so he'll be gaining a little bit of time there. Well, that's good to know, because after he picks up his big key, he can just go straight up into the gauntlet.
Yep. Having a little problem getting the key off the torch.
Yep, well, he's opting to pick up this this key in pot too, so he doesn't have to worry about killing these helpless as he just did.
That's not. That's absolutely an okay play, I think.
Yep, I believe it. I think if you do it well, it ends up costing about the same amount of time. And sorry, the prize is a one-time thing, sadly. Otherwise, I would be awarding myself the prize for also missing 3.
Right, exactly. Oh, we've got a knockoff.
That's a 4. Ooh, that's bad news for Aussie because Fouton is creeping closer and closer. Stuff like this is what this race is going to come down to.
Meanwhile, we got on the bottom. We've got both runners in Eastern Palace at the same time. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Bytesize still hasn't gone back to Meyer yet.
Yeah, it's very deceptive to actually look at the video at the stream right now because it looks like the opposite is true of what is actually true because BK is actually very slightly behind compared to S1nhe. And there goes Armos, and BK gets his first shield. Meanwhile, Ozzy is about to head to Aga 2.
Alright, Aghanim 2. Let's see how well Ozzy can pull this off.
Because he will not be nice to set up for a triple, but
he didn't even get one.
All of them just barely. This is slightly better set up with 1 hit.
Got one. Meanwhile, Fouton going into the gauntlet.
And that was just
Oh.
might have been a double if it went for that dastardly, annoying blue energy shot.
There's a 3.
Yeah, that was nice. Just 1 more hit.
S1nhe going up towards Ganon's tower. bytesizedBK going into Misery Meyer. Ozzy taking out Aghanim 2.
Nice.
And
He's
Fouton
going
getting
to
through the gauntlet
straight
here.
into the Ganon fight.
At this
And
point, it's going to take some major issues on Ozzy's part for him to lose this, I think.
if he falls down, it might happen, but with the situation they're in, that's not super likely because they will just be able to use the silver arrows and the sword slashes to defeat Ganon. No, it looks like Fouton also missed this 1 cycle, but nope. It's also probably going to be a 3-cycle Lambo for him. Or a 4-cycle. Oh, that is really unfortunate because now he's losing time compared to Ozzy.
Yep,
Oh,
and
no,
he's got the
Lambo.
flag.
Yeah, Ozzy is going for the lag strats. It's a good safety choice, but look at how the frame rate is chugging on this game right now.
Yeah. And we've got more fire bats. Now, I don't recall, does he have any blue goo in his bottles or no?
don't know either. Going by the way he's playing, I have a feeling he has absolutely no safety in his models. I did notice that Fouton actually made a point of picking up a couple of ferries for safety just now, so I imagine he would have been in a very... I imagine they were both in a very similar situation now.
Now, at one point they picked up the bottle of red, at least some of the runners picked up the bottle of red from the ledge next to Haunted Grove. I don't know if he's got that or not.
I'm not certain if he still got that or if he used that, or if he was even one of the people who picked it up. He might have skipped it, considering he was the first one to actually find the cane of Samaria and had very little reason to get back there.
Well, he got the torch glitch with the fire rod, so...
Yeah, that's nice.
It's 2 hits
2
on
shots.
cannon.
Ooh,
Oh,
a
boy!
little bit of damage.
Oh, he does have blue!
He does have blue. Well, okay. In that case, he's probably good to go on this.
Bytesize making very quick work of Vitreous. Well, Cinny's already found the big keys, making his way up the Gans Tower.
Yep. And it looks like the turn finished with an official time of 1 hour, 52 minutes and 26 seconds.
Congratulations, Ozzy.
Sadly, I already know he won't be joining us in here in voice chat for an interview because he mentioned before the race that he doesn't have a working microphone.
Oh no! Maybe he'll join us in the Twitch chat at least.
He might. Regardless, that also means that for Group A, the standings are now determined and they are actually going to have a 3-way tiebreaker.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. At least we get an extra race out of it, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, I mean, as we said before, the major thing that, hey, we found a gold sword, I didn't even notice.
Did we?
Where was that?
That must have been one of these chests here in the upper floors of Ganon's tower. But Fouton is soldiering on and will, after a little bit of bumper trouble, soon make its way up to Aghanim 2. And there he goes. A little bit off in red dash, but yeah, there we go.
Oh, Bytesize missed the hookshot clip.
And that's unfortunate. It's going to make his descent here a little bit slower and give S1nhe a little bit more of a lead.
Getting one on Aga. Meanwhile, S1nhe making... I just got one of the Lamolus worms. bytesizedBK making his way to Ganon's Tower. Those two are going to be closer than ozipone and Fouton were. But still S1nhe's race at the moment.
Yep, it's S1nhe's race to lose. Anyway, while we're waiting for the runners to retrace each other's steps, I'd like to make a quick shout out to all our runners. And, well, for them being willing to show off their skills here at Randomizer Mania. Please give a follow to Fouton, ozipone, bytesizedBK, and S1nhe. And I think I was mistaken on who didn't have the working microphone, because I believe ozipone just joined us in here.
He may have just wanted to hear. I think he said in the chat he just wanted to be able to hear us.
That could also do it.
Oh, Ozzy, hi, congratulations, sir.
Yeah, congratulations on winning your race and being 4 in there in your respective group.
Yes, you were the only person that beat Coldstare the first time in Ice Palace.
Yeah, it was quite surprising. Everybody else actually went to the big chests in Ice Palace and then left the dungeon without deciding to kill Quartz there, and they paid for it because that was where the cane was hiding.
Yep. So bite size going through the right side here.
Yeah, it's not going to
Fortunate.
give him much fire value. Fouton just finished off Ganon as well.
Fouton finishing in second place in his race with a SRL time of 1 hour 56 minutes and 53 seconds. Only 4 minutes behind, too.
Nobody else finished off Turtle Rock, in fact. You were the only one to actually do so. And it didn't pay off. We were actually rather surprised that nobody else went for Turtle Rock, considering the mishap with Colts there earlier.
Yeah, that was very surprising.
Anyway, the official time for Fouton is 1 hour, 56 minutes and 53 seconds, and he's the second person to finish this race out of all 4. Not that that actually matters for the standings, but I figured I might as well mention it. And Fouton joins us here in the voice chat. Hello, Fouton. How are you
Welcome.
doing? And, well, how do you feel about that decision to skip killing Colts there in the Ice Palace? Yeah.
You were not the only person to make that decision.
I was like, I've got the mirror that opened up all of the mountain. I didn't think about the fact that I can't do Hookshot Cave fully. So I was like, there's like 10, 15 items up there. I've got a huge mountain. There was nothing. Absolutely nothing.
We were I was, we were both definitely surprised at the fact that the mountain just did not pay off at all. Like, we were definitely expecting it to, and also with the decision of 3 of you to actually skip doing calls, that we figured you actually had all the items in there already.
Yeah, I'd only seen the one, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising. And I'm actually kind of surprised that you opted to skip Trianex later in light of that.
I was actually tempted to leave when I got Hookshot, and I was just like, Laser Bridge has the bow. I'm not making this mistake. I'm going there. I didn't want to do Trianex though. That sounded like a waste of time.
Well, thankfully the situation did not repeat, and Trianex did not have to bow this time go around, because if so, that would have been unfortunate for, in fact, all 3 of you who weren't Aussie. Because Aussie is the only racer here who actually went and killed Trianex.
Yeah. Probably after being the first one to find the Candace of Maria, doesn't want to be like, well, we had one boss with an item, might as well get the other one.
Yeah.
But he had nothing important, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. No, Aussie, Palace of Darkness had absolutely nothing.
It was a little frustrating because I was going through that too. Before I went into Ice, I was telling myself it's going to be a pedestal seed because there's just so many items left. So I should just go there and do the pedestal stuff right away. And then when I got the mirror, I was just like, that opened up like 20 locations. So I'm going to abandon this pedestal plan, and that hurt.
Yeah. I can't remember if you actually would have wanted to check it, but somebody did in fact check the pedestal and all it, well, with the book that is, and all it had was couch cash, so...
Yeah, I never booked it because I had Skullwoods done in like 15 minutes.
Right, yeah, you were the first to complete it, and we were actually quite impressed at how well you handled that dungeon.
Absolutely.
But you were definitely not in a position where you could comfortably complete it with only 6 hearts.
I've practiced a lot with Fighter Sword, so...
Yeah, it must have been relatively easy with the Template Sword in that case.
So, not to break this up real quick, but S1nhe is looking like he's about to finish his race here.
Yeah, I believe he's just 1 silver arrow shot off of defeating Ganon.
Nope, 1 more.
Yeah, do that. Yep.
There we go.
Apparently the cape was also somewhere in upstairs Ganon's tower.
Indeed. So S1nhe finishing with an official SRL time of 2 hours and 53 seconds, and is going to be the winner of his race.
Let me just quickly check something, because...
Which sword did ozipone skip?
The one in Ganon's tower right before Troll Dorm.
Yeah,
I was
in
gonna walk
fact,
by it, and then I was like, I'm missing a sword. There's one chest. It's really easy to do.
in fact, it's looking like you were the only person to pick up the golden sword this go around, even though it was quite along the way to Ganon.
I need that crutch.
Yeah. Just BK left to finish right now. He's going in to get. I can fight now.
I mean, really, consider with 4 runners in this, everyone's going to be finishing up here within like 10 minutes of each other. That's not bad.
Yep. Yeah, all things considered, it's actually quite surprising because Ozzy actually found the Cane of Sumaria significantly sooner than anybody else did, but it actually did not result in all that commanding of a lead as you'd expect, considering how important that item was. Because the Cane of Samaria in this particular case unlocks basically the entire rest of the season up until go mode. And am I looking at chats? Apparently, with this particular result from the race, it's close to a three-way tie for the Group C in the secondary tournament. So that would be exciting if it were to happen. But it all depends on BK, and I believe Dynasty Zero was the other runner there involved with the other race that still needs to be done.
Yep, that's it. We've had some big group shakeups with the results of these races here.
Yeah.
So Fouton, question, I guess. How was, I don't know, this scene didn't seem too annoying, except for the fact that it seemed like you could go into almost every dungeon and couldn't complete a single one of them at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all about making the right choices. Like, when you got mitts from Eastern and Flippers at the same time, assuming you got mitts there instead of from Sasha, that signaled ice really well, and I probably should have read that. And if you did ice there, you would have been able to full clear Mire, you would have been able to go to T-Rock pretty much when you go up the mountain. And that would have made the season way faster.
That would have definitely made it way faster, but basically everybody ended up double dipping on a very significant amount of dungeons.
Yeah, I didn't think about it until I started going up the mountain the first time. And once I did that, I got Ether out of the Mire cave because I didn't want to go to ice anymore. And finding Ether right beside Mire with a Ether Mire made me go in there. So it's like, it could have been a really linear seed that could have gone really well, but you just happen to get the items at the wrong times and it sent you the horrible way.
Yep, exactly. Like, almost everybody actually just went into Misery Mile when they went there because it just happened to line up so well with finding the required medallion. And basically everybody was hoping for a Vanilla Cane to happen, but nope. That definitely wasn't where the cane ends up being found, and BK is making good use of the fact that he does have the cape for Ganon right here. We're hearing a bit of deep splats though. That was actually in the mini Helmosaur room in the upper part of Ganon's tower. So he kind of got chest, but apparently did not check the chest just before Moldorm to pick up the golden sword. On the other hand, he is very low HP. I believe even with Red Mill, he is in fact one hit away from dying right now, but
he is.
I do not know if he has any safeties or not. Like, looking at how he's playing, I imagine he might have taken the time to catch a ferry or something. Or alternatively, he might just have absolutely nothing in his pistols. I hope he's I hope he's going to pull off this victory. He already fell down off Ganon once, and I don't want to see him fall in the metaphorical sense as well.
Oh, we missed Ganon there.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of keeping Ganon's stomach. He got him an accidental silverless hit there. Just one more to go, and there he
There
goes.
we
He
go.
also has completed Ganon. And
Bite Size going to walk across the threshold and finishes with an official time of 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 30 seconds.
yeah, the big question on Ozzy's mind, and I imagine everybody's mind here, is why did you make the decision to actually just skip Cold Star?
We asking me here?
Yeah,
I just felt 20 items up the mountain, and I guess I should have gone straight to Cold Stare. I regretted it after I left, but
yeah.
I was like,
It's,
I don't need to spend time in a boss that'll likely waste my time. I kind of wanted to take a little bit of an edge. So
and
was
I mean, in a way you were right. That boss definitely wasted your time, just not in the way you were hoping, not in the way
Exactly.
you were expecting.
Yeah, I felt a little behind at that point too, because I had gone through so many different locations and it kind of left just ice left. I had double dipped Mire and stuff like that, so I was just kind of gambling on Mir is gonna catch me up sometime by skipping Cold Stare.
Yeah, it's understandable. It looks like our remaining two runners will be joining us in here shortly. Just as soon as, well, then right in here, and that's in here. Welcome to the call.
Welcome to the chat. Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, congratulations on your win. And there's BK, so we've got all three of our runners at well, actually we've got all four of our runners in here.
Indeed.
So the question that I just asked Fouton, and which is going through everybody's minds, is basically, what was your reason for skipping Cold there? Imagine we might be getting answers through chat rather than through voice chat. Oh, I see. Just some background stuff that needs to be taken care of.
Okay, seems to be working now.
Hey.
Okay, hey there. I was literally talking to myself and was wondering why I was muted until BK mentioned it.
Welcome, guys.
Yo, hey BK.
Yo, what's up?
Yo,
This
GG, man.
seed really makes me feel bad.
Yeah, same over here.
Like,
Yeah.
I thought I played fine, and I don't think any of my decisions were bad. It just, I mean, some of them were like questionable, but I think that they were okay in the moments. It's just like, why did everything have to be locked by something?
I think my biggest time loss or gamble was that hookshot is going to be in Swamp Palace. Oh, what a letdown.
I double dipped. Let's see. I double dipped Desert because I didn't have boots.
Ouch.
I double dipped Mire. I double dipped. No, I didn't double dip Pod. What else did I? I double dipped Swamp. I double dipped Ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ice as well.
I almost double dipped Skullwoods. I was really tempted to leave, but I knew I
just
should
finish Skullwoods in one go since the fire rod was conveniently placed there.
Yeah, I figured I should go for it, and I ended up beating Moth's second try. But I felt so behind the whole seed because everything was locked. So when I found Mirror,
I was in the very same situation.
Yeah, in fact,
it's like
in fact, of all four of you, the only person who didn't skip Cold Stare on their first visit in Ice Palace was Ozzy, which is why, presumably, why they were the overall winner of this race.
Yeah, probably. It was really stupid of me. I knew there were 2 items left, and well, once I got the mirror, I was so hyped for Swarm Palace having the next item, and it made me double dip that dungeon.
I thought about staying. That's why like I hesitated, and I looked at the mirror, and I'm like, this unlocks so many places.
Yep.
Like because that was the key to Death Mountain. That was the key to get into Swamp, which was more items. Overworld locations. And I'm just like, I really don't want to stay in Ice. Yeah, even though the next items were going to be semi-quick to check, I figured it wasn't worth it. And it bit us today.
What was interesting was Ozzy was the last one to get into Ice Palace and the only one to complete it first time through.
Yeah.
So Dude and I are sitting there thinking, well, we must have just missed it. They must have just found all 3 items in here because all 3 other runners just left.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a calculated risk, and it didn't pay off today.
Pay off.
Usually Ice Palace only holds 1 item for me, so I skipped it right there.
It's definitely it was definitely the choice that made sense on paper. It just didn't end up working out in practice.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like for a lot of the race, probably like the second hour or so, I just felt like I had already lost because it seemed like everything I would check was nothing. So there were points where I'm like, it's not like I was like goofing off, but like I'm just like, all right, like, let's go here and hope there's an item, and then it was nothing, and then okay, we'll go to this other out of the way location, and it was nothing. Yeah. The only like correct play that I made was mirroring out of Turtle Rock when I got hook shot, and I don't know if anyone else made that play.
No, I made the laser bridge. There was literally nothing in there.
Yeah, it's just like the only thing that was gonna be there was bow, and I'm like, if I lose the race because I have to double dip Turtle Rock, I'm okay with that at that point.
Yeah, in fact, the only person who did not take the gamble on skipping Trinax or more of Turtle Rock was in fact Ozzy.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
Everybody else just left, either after finding the hook shot or after checking Laser Bridge.
Yeah, the only thing I would have done was check Laser Bridge. I mean, if Trinax had an item, I might have killed him, because we were pretty well equipped at that point.
He did in fact have an item, but it wasn't just... Well, it wasn't anything important. I don't quite remember what it was. It might have been rupees.
Yeah. I don't know. And then I gambled Tile Room because I didn't see the dot done, and I'm like, oh, maybe I can actually come back. And it was a 20 rupee. And then it was on the torch.
Yeah, it was
like, I probably could have saved like 2 minutes there, and then I fell to Ganon. Like, this would have been a lot closer if I had made a smart decision and like done the... Well, I probably still would have gone right.
Yeah,
and gambled.
Yeah,
but...
most people with the usual route taken these days would have gone right there because you did find a small key over in those first 2 chests.
Yeah. But, I don't know. It was a seed. I can't be too upset. Like, based on how the beginning went, it felt good. You know, like we had tempered. I'm like, all right, let's go.
No, but most of the items were early on. I think at 1 hour and 10, probably we had most of the items except for 2 or 3, which were the hookshot, bow, and stuff like that. So it was a really good start in the seed. But yeah.
Did you go into Eastern early? Because I did not. And
I did.
This is actually kind of funny. All 4 of you actually went into Eastern Palace at roughly the same time.
I feel like I went there so late. Like, I love the early Eastern play, and today because we had all of the tools to do the entire Dark World with, like, I found gloves at Sahasrahla, I found gloves at Sahasrahla, and then the lamp and a sword in the back of Escape, and I'm just like, let's go. Like, the seed was open, that I just didn't even think about Eastern. And I don't think that hurt that badly.
Yeah, actually, the bow was the item that literally hold me off to enter Eastern at all. I mean, bow could have been in there, but the chance for that.
I was really hoping.
In the random, I wasn't hoping for the bow to be in Eastern. That's a relatively small chance anyway.
Yeah, I was really hoping Hookshot was going to be the go mode item.
Yeah.
Because I would have made the Turtle Rock gamble with King of Samaria, and I think, I mean, like, I guess in this scenario it would have paid off, but like, just replace the. No, I don't know. Where was Bo? Bo was in Swamp. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked out still.
No, it was basically the bow was in fact the go mode item for all 4 of you, which is well, understandable with how the seed was laid out, because it was basically also the last place you could go to.
Yeah, I think it had to be, because Hookshot unlocked Bo.
Yeah, the
and King of Samaria was unlocked by Ice Palace.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This was a very good race.
Yeah, probably fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch the VOD after this.
I don't even know if I want to watch it. I don't want to relive this pain.
It's okay, BK. Now you can learn from your mistakes. The same I would do.
Like, I felt so good at the end of last race. Like, when I raced Rambler, I'm like, okay, like, I finished, and then I'm just like waiting, and I'm like, oh, like, I must have really done well this seed. And I think the difference between us is like 20 minutes, and it's all because of the fire rod being at the witch's hut. But like, to have like a win like that, and like, you're feeling good, like, you feel like you played well, and then today I don't know, man. This seed made me feel like I am not equipped to play Randomizer.
Well,
you're not the only one, though.
Fine, things considered. In fact, I would go so far as to say that if it weren't for that, at least for Fouton, if it weren't for that fateful decision to skip Colts there, he would have easily won the race, because he was definitely ahead at that point.
Yeah, I think that's my big mistake too. But I mean, it sounds like Sid made the same play.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, Aussie is the overall winner of the seed, because they were the first person to actually kill Colts there. What
was Aussie's time?
Let me just look it back up. I should have it available. It was
150, I think.
Oh, wow.
152 to 26.
Yeah, 152.26 was the official time.
Yeah, that's like about what I would expect, I think. If someone had killed Cold Stare.
Yeah, probably.
Because you would just immediately go to Turtle Rock, I think. Or like, you would immediately go to back to Turtle Rock, because that's the only place you can go.
Like, Aussie essentially then afterwards also made the just check everything in Dead Mountain play, except unlike the rest of you, was able to actually go into and, well, clear Turtle Rock and pick up the hookshot there.
Yeah.
And from there, the seed, well, cleared itself pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a tough seed.
Yeah, it was a tough seed.
Yeah, but it's good practice anyway.
Yeah,
definitely. Anyway, do you guys have any parting thoughts? Because I think it's about time we put a finish to this thing.
No, nothing really for me. I think everything's been said.
Nah.
Thanks for commentating, and everyone watching, remember to follow the commentators as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, as well.
And let's also
thank you for the hard work, guys.
Let's also not forget about the wonderful trackers.
Absolutely, guys. Just give everybody a follow. Seriously, all you guys out there watching on Twitch, whatnot, links are right in the chat right now. Just give everyone a follow. Seriously, guys.
Yeah,
these runners deserve it. Absolutely.
There's one person I haven't mentioned yet, and I would like to thank Epipoliticus for restreaming this race for all of us.
Absolutely.
And I do hope I pronounced that name right, because, man, that is a name right there.
What you wrote down, it sounds pretty close. All right, everybody. We're out for the day, but there's plenty of races going on. In fact, I think there's another quad race coming up at 9 o'clock tonight. So we've got races all over. Randomizer Mania, Speed Gaming channels. Just check them all out. And guys, have a good night, everyone. And guys, congratulations to Ozzy and Shinny. Excuse me, Shinny. And guys, great race regardless. Seriously, it was fun to watch.
Yep, it was definitely fun to watch. Good night, everybody, and I hope you enjoy more random races.